something bad happens. So we're gonna try to do something new, which is basically me trying to go and do weekly vlogs, potentially. Also, don't mind this, I'm having a stress rash, which is great. Yay, anxiety. But I'm thinking I kind of want to mix things up with my channel a little bit more. I just feel like I'm only having videos where I'm sitting down talking to a camera, which I'm sure you don't mind, but I personally really love vlogs, so I definitely would like to include more of those in my channel. Yeah, I'd like to kind of do more vlogs, add a little bit more of like those personal moments, so I'm not just, you know, someone that's only doing those types of videos, which I think are fine. I'm sure people enjoy them, but yeah, so we're gonna try to do some stuff like that. Change the scenery. Let's change to a different spot too, to mix things up. Oh, hi Nugs. Nuggie, are you gonna come up? Hi. Hi Nuggie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. Oh, and mail truck. How's this for spiciness? Okay, one sec. So switching up to a new location. So yes, Nuggie. I got my other pings here. So I ended up going and starting my very first ping pot and went and bought like a little kit for it and everything like that. But I put the video on my ASMR channel, which is just kind of like my hobby channel where there's plants and God, Nugs is just running around everywhere, but there's plants, there's also gaming. It's just basically a lot of stuff that I enjoy that doesn't really fit here, but I kind of do it more in like relaxing voices and sounds, I guess, so not as overstimulating, if anything. And there'll be like whispering or soft-spoken, stuff like that. Gosh, my rash is just really bothering me. But yeah, so I got some new pings. I really wanted to get some that we could go and put like upstairs in my office, but the ping kit that I got originally, it was just too big and would not go and fit in my office. So we got some new ones and I just need to wait for a few things to get here. So hopefully they arrive tomorrow so I don't wait too long and they end up drying out. But this is gonna be really chatty. I have a theory about something, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I tend to be very paranoid about things and kind of connect the dots on some stuff. And one thing I've been noticing is every time I watch a new, air quotes, new horror movie, so a new to me horror movie, something bad happens. I'm a huge horror movie lover. I tend to go and watch those to go and decompress and de-stress. So I'll go and watch a horror movie that I've seen a million times, like the Conjuring movies, and I'll go and play a cozy game or even a game that involves zombies, because that's my whole comfort thing. Or I don't really end up reading a lot of the time after work unless it's a book that I can't put down. But yeah, the past 2 times I've watched new to me horror movies, something has happened. So the first time this happened, I was watching the newer movie for Until Dawn, which was inspired. Whoop, Nuggie's running all over the place. Hi, Nugs. Hi, Nuggie. Trying to hide my address on this box, but hi. Yes, hi. Thank you. Hi. She's just staring into my eyes. And now she's staring into yours. But yeah, so I watched Until Dawn, and Until Dawn, the game, is one of my favorites. It was so scary the first time I watched it, and I had a hard time falling asleep, but it's one of my favorites, and I loved it. So I was really excited for the movie until I heard that they completely redid everything, and like, why are you going to use the name of a movie if you're not going to stick to the thing it inspired you for? Just my personal thoughts. But yeah, I was watching that movie and then I had to stop it halfway through because Charles said that we had a baby squirrel outside. Except he didn't tell me in those exact words. He was like, you need to stop your movie and come outside with me. I was like, what's going on? He's like, you just need to see this. And it turned out to be the baby squirrel. So that happened the first time I watched a new to me horror movie. Then last night I was watching Talk to Me on Netflix. And our fridge stopped working. And our fridge has stopped working before. So as some of you know, we're homeowners now, and our fridge that we have right now stopped working, I think around 4 months ago, and Charles was able to get it to restart, kind of clean out a lot of the cat hair and dog hair, because we have 3 cats and a dog, so there's fur tumbleweeds everywhere in the house. But yeah, it stopped again last night when I was watching a new horror movie, and it wasn't able to get fixed by the usual things that Charles did, so we have to get a new fridge, which is not great. So now I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe I should not watch any new to me horror movies and just stick with rewatching a lot of my favorites. And yeah, so that's a little weekly update right there, as well as me being paranoid about stuff. But on the good side of things, I got new pings, so I will probably put those together at some point, and we'll maybe record for y'all to see it, and I'll just record it and put it here on this channel because yeah, we're trying to do a week in my life, so we'll see how this goes. So I got the new plant baby set up. This one is Panincula Florian, and then this one I'm not even gonna try to butcher how it's pronounced, but I got this one in a cute little jam jar. And then this one I have in this little pot that my good friend Wade Lady got me. And so I have that. I put dirt on the bottom and then spread a very thin layer of pumice stone here. So hopefully that works. Nuggie's trying to get down. Or stretch. Are you trying to stretch? But yeah, I think they both look super, super cute. These are different than my pingdoms that I have. And hopefully they will work. I'm gonna have to wait until Charles gets home because I have no idea which one I'm gonna put in the kitchen and then which one I'm gonna put in my office because I really love both of them. And then let's go, hi Nuggie, let's go and take a look at my indoor greenhouse. I have an aloe plant down there that Charles got from his coworkers, and then here's my pingdom. This is kind of the update on them. I just went and watered everything, so that's why a lot of stuff is still wet. But with these guys, you can kind of see that the other leaves died, but there's green poking through. So I think part of that has to do with, number one, they were dried out when I got them. And then number two, I also got water on the leaves, which will kind of go and rot them out. So I'm waiting for them to kind of get it good enough so I can pull those out. And then I do have one ping that is still on the pumice stone here. I had others here, but I felt like they weren't getting enough water. And I didn't have this guy in the beginning. So that made it a lot harder to go and water them. So once I get the hang of things, I'm gonna get new ones and put them up here. And then with my new pings, they had some leaves that broke off that were still alive. So I'm gonna see if I can try to propagate them and see how this works. I've never done this before, so fingers crossed. And then here are my pictures. I do want to repot them because I feel like these pots are just way too big for these in general. And I feel like a lot of the time I'm just watering the soil instead of the plants themselves. And what I usually do is like put water down here and then I also spray them. And that seems to be the best method without them drying out. And then here's another one, which is actually 2 different pitcher plants. Somehow one of them ended up leaving like seeds or whatnot and grew another one. So that's really cool. Plus I got this grass. But yeah, this is my little indoor greenhouse of carnivorous plants. Good morning, friends. So it is a new day. Stress rash is just still there, which is not great, but today we're supposed to get our new fridge. However, the window for the fridge to get here is between 12 and 4. So not too thrilled about that. Charles said that he will text me when It's like the 30 minutes out so that I can run downstairs and go and empty out the fridge. We've kind of been leaving everything in there because for the most part it's at least keeping things cold, so we've been avoiding like opening the fridge, anything like that. That will be my job to go and do. And then Charles says that he got permission from his boss to head over so that he can help me with that. So the plan is to hopefully have all the animals here in my office and close the door before they get here, just so that we don't have to worry about them running out or anything like that. And yeah, so it will be nice to get a new fridge that will work, because that has been a lot of anxiety on our end, wanting to avoid any food going bad. So I'm very thankful that at least for the most part our fridge has been maintaining the coolness inside even though it's not working. Also, my anxiety is making my stomach kind of hurt, so I have a cup of ginger tea here. I am also dealing with a week-long period. Yes, you heard that correctly. I have had my period for a week, so sorry for any non-period havers here in the video, but yeah, so that is not great. I feel like a huge potato right now, and not in a good way. Usually I like having my potato time, which is what I call relaxation time after work, but now I actually feel like I am encompassing the potato and becoming the potato. So that is the update here. And yeah, just excited to get our new fridge and everything. Kiko was scratching my chair. I have so many claw marks on my chair that, yeah, it's not a nice chair. So if you were to see my office chair, she ain't pretty. There's also Nuggy Nugs. Yeah, that's kind of the update here. No big news aside from we're going to be getting a new fridge. I am also trying to finish Dating at the End of the World by Geneva Rose. That was one of my picks for Defend the TBR for September. So I think I'm 53% of the way through, and then I have 3 more books that I need to read for the Defend the TBR. So we'll see if that happens, and then I might try to sneak in some books from the horror bingo for 2024. Not sure if that's going to happen. I think what I'm going to do is just include all my wrap-ups. So my summer reading bingo that I never did a recap on, then horror bingo for 2024, and have all of that stuff in my reading wrap-up for September, because I feel like that would just be easier to get all 3 of those done in one instead of having separate videos, because I'm not quite sure what the interest would be in those personally. So I'm gonna drink my ginger tea and just kind of watch the time tick down until I know we're gonna get our new fridge. But knowing my luck, that fridge will not get here until around 4. Mark my words. If you have any other guesses or don't think that's gonna happen, let me know down in the comments below. Let's see who's right, and I will check in with you when we know the actual time.
Hey, Max. She's very confused right now. Huh.
Yeah. So checking in, we got our new fridge, and honestly, that went super duper quickly. Charles basically sent me a text saying like, hey, they only have this many stops left. I was like, oh crap, okay. So went on lunch at work and then rushed to go and get everything out of the fridge and put on the counter before they got there. And then Charles got home. Not even like 30 seconds after they walked through the door, suddenly the delivery truck got there. And the people were so nice, super duper speedy, helped us go and get our new fridge set up, took the old one out, so that was great. But also, before that, I was trying to make sure that Nugget like went poop. That Nugget. I had to make sure Nugget went potty and all that stuff. And as I was going out into the sunroom, I saw something and I was like, did a fly die in here? Something happened along those lines. And then looked closer and I saw that it was a spider, but it was a spider that had a little red mark on its back. And I was like,
No. So I think it might have been a month ago, give or take, maybe less than. But when I had taken Nugget outside, I saw a black widow that was along the side of the sunroom. And I was like, oh crap. So I came inside after taking Nugget out and everything and got spray for it. And went and sprayed it, but it fell down into the rocks. And so I drenched that area, just kind of hoping, like, let's hope that I got that black widow, because I don't want it getting inside. I don't want it getting me. I don't want it getting Nugget or getting inside and getting one of the cats. And so yeah, I have a feeling that it was that black widow. It evaded me and I found him, but I killed him. I I'm not someone that's really scared or terrified of bugs per se. I tend to get a little bit more of the ick if I find them in the house. However, certain spiders, especially if I know they're poisonous or dangerous, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get rid of them. A lot of the time, other bugs, like there was a cricket one time in the house, I went and got it, I think, like in a little cup with a paper underneath and then released it outside. I will usually do that with a lot of the okay bugs that get in the house, but if they're ones that are going to harm me or harm the fur babies, sorry, no saving that bug for me. So it's been a little bit eventful.
Hi, Nug Nug. You're cute. You're so cute.
So that will kind of be the game plan. I think tonight what I'm going to do is maybe try to finish my book. But who am I kidding? I'm probably going to play some Palia. That will probably be the game plan there. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a little bit of a headache. I feel like I haven't been as great about drinking water. So hopefully we can go and fix that, because if I don't drink enough water, I kind of feel like I'm hungover the next day and have an awful headache that usually has no chance of going away. So fingers crossed we can get rid of that. And yeah, I need to edit a love it or lose it video.
Nuggy, that's your food.
You are so silly. She likes to go and play with her food, don't ya? She just threw it all over the place. Well, on that note, I'm gonna check in with y'all again later.
Also, I forgot to give y'all an update. So this is our new fridge right here. It is a little bit smaller as far as our freezer, just because of the ice machine in there. And then for the water and ice, it's two separate things. It's two separate things instead of just one. So that's kind of cool that way. I'm not going to open it up because it's not really organized, but at least you get to see the outside of the fridge. So yeah, this is how it is. It's gray, so our other appliances are black. So that part kind of bothers me a little bit. At least with our stove it has the gray, but microwave is more so black. So maybe eventually when we get to that point we can go and get everything to match. But yeah, here's our little tour of our fridge. Has a lot of memories and fun stuff and Nuggy's puppy training certificate, but love that we have a new fridge and that it actually works. Hey everyone, so we're going to be going on a hike today to go and check out all the fall leaves. Here in Colorado, a lot of them have been changing already, which number one makes me excited, but number two makes me so nervous because next year our wedding is a little bit further in the season, just because the wedding venue is like, oh yeah, you need to wait until this date because we get more of the fall colors during that time of year. So I'm like, I'm nervous, but I'm trusting y'all, so we'll see how that goes. But I think I'm just going to maybe take stuff on my phone, or I have a smaller camera that I might go and bring and test out while we're walking, because I don't really want to bring my big chunky one. So we'll see how that goes, but I am super excited. Fall is my favorite time of year and I love looking at the leaves. And yeah, so this is gonna be a fun hike. Nugget is also going to really enjoy it. She loves hikes, as long as they're not over 4 miles. That's kind of when she's like, no, I've had enough. So we'll see how this goes. Can't wait to show you everything.
Nuggy, what are we doing? Are we gonna go on a hike? We're gonna go on a hike.
She's so confused, but also excited. She loves whenever the harness gets out, as most dogs do. But yeah, we're just gassing up and then we're gonna go on our hike.
She's ready.
I know. Get out.
Mission.
Hey everyone, so we are back home after going on our hike and everything. As you will have seen from some of the clips, Charles did end up going and carrying Nugget on and off. I also have you precariously stacked on a bunch of books right now, just because I don't want to get my tripod out. But yeah, Charles ended up going and carrying Nugget on and off just because like she started getting some blisters. So the hike we were on wasn't like one of the harder hikes, but it definitely was rockier. So Nugget kind of started showing signs of blisters on the walk back, and she was just moving a little bit slower and laying down here and there. So Charles officially gets Dad of the Year because they basically went and picked Nugget up on and off for like the last 40 minutes of our hike, which Nugget like weighs almost 50 pounds. And I wish I could have helped go and carry her, but I have noodle arms and I'm also extremely clumsy. Like I fell down once and it wasn't even in a difficult area per se, like really rocky or anything. So I just kind of carried our water bottles in the backpack and leash so that Charles could go and carry Nugget. So we're back home, we've had food, I showered, Nugget has just been lying down and relaxing. I did finish my arc for Dating at the End of the World by Geneva Rose, and I have thoughts with this one. So some of you might know I'm a huge zombie lover. Like zombie apocalypses, that type of stuff is just one of my favorite things ever, especially when it comes to movies and video games. However, I'm very particular about the zombies and about the apocalypse. I don't want it to be cheesy, anything like that. So I do really like how Geneva made the zombies in the book and a few different things that she went and added. I thought it was well done and well thought out. However, there were a few things that bothered me, such as her dad being a doomsday prepper, but also not having a few things, at least like medical wise, because you can't tell me that this man was being a doomsday prepper for a lot of the main character's childhood, and then there were certain things that he just never got. It's like, excuse me, sir, you didn't go to the black market or anything to get some of these items? And then with our main character, I had a few irks with her because she's been trained to go and fight. Her dad was prepping her for the end of the world, and she did go and leave her dad like as soon as she turned 18. She went to college and everything like that, but there were certain things that she forgot, and I'm like, wouldn't some of this stuff just be muscle memory for you, especially with all the training that your dad did? So those were a few things that kind of bothered me. I felt like a lot of the plot was very predictable, but I did have a fun time even though I pretty much predicted everything that ended up happening in the book. So I think with that being said, I'm probably going to settle around like 4 stars for the rating of this book. And yeah, I'm a little bit bummed because I was really hoping it would be a 5-star because I am trying to just weave in a few extra books to maybe get some more spots completed on Wicked Readings horror bingo for the year of 2024, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So that definitely is a bummer. But today is the 27th, so there's a couple days left to squeeze stuff in if I maybe listen to some audiobooks while I'm working or somehow just get bit by the reading bug and do some more reading. I'm going to read Dead of Winter by Cressley Cole, which was for a rereading prompt I had for Defend the TBR. And then I'm going to try to do We Were Liars after that, which is one that was from my Love It or Lose It list. But I have to finish that book so I can get points because it was like a 2-for-1 reading prompt where I have to read 2 Love It or Lose It books to get points. So yeah, wish me luck, but that's our little update on the hike and also finishing this book.
Hello, so today is kind of a lazy day for us. Nugget is actually walking into my office right now, but she's eating. She's definitely moving a lot slower today. Her blisters luckily didn't, burst or anything, but she's definitely tender today, and we're all just kind of taking it easy for her. Charles has been talking about doing a new D&D campaign, and I've kind of been a little bit back and forth because I do really love watching D&D campaigns, but I get a little bit antsy when I'm in them myself, and it's a lot of time to go and dedicate to it. However, when we were driving to the hike yesterday, we were kind of like spitballing ideas, and I created a character concept that I'm actually really excited for. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually kind of bit by the BG3 bug, per se. So I think I'm actually going to play some BG3, which I haven't done in a hot minute. I only have one character, and I haven't even gotten her over past Act 1 just yet. But I think I'm going to start a new character just to kind of have fun and play around with it. So I am very excited for that, and I have my video already edited and uploaded so it can go live on Monday. I usually try to post my videos once a week every Monday, and then if I'm lucky, sometimes it happens to be around 2 videos a week, which is always nice, but not happening. Oh gosh. But doesn't always happen all the time. So yeah, I am excited to kind of get a little bit more of a lazy day than I normally get. I haven't really gotten a lot of reading done aside from what I updated y'all on yesterday. I do want to try to read a little bit of Dead of Winter today. I need to do my reread for this for the Defend the TBR episode, and then I also would like to get We Were Liars in, so I will have to go and really buckle down and do quite a bit of reading so I can at least get those 2 books out of the way before the end of the month. So we shall see.